Alright, so here we are again with another tier list, this one being on the power forwards, and yes, all of the cards that did drop yesterday will be available on here. Like, I think there's actually only two, Karl Malone and Larry Bird. Both will be on this list just so you guys know where they're all ranking. If you want to check out any of the tier lists that we've done, the point guards, the shooting guards, the small forwards, and the I think Spotlight Sim cards, I also rank, like, put down below. I think the Dark Matters, and I did the Invincibles as well. If you want to check any of those out, they'll all be in the links description down below. And before we get into it, hit that like button, comment, and we have a word from our sponsor. If you need your 12-0 unlimited domination, TTO, or even more services grinded, go contact Rose NBA on Twitter right now at twitter.com/r6creditssell. Link in the description down below. Alright, and now that we've done that, we can start getting into the tier list, where we obviously always first show you the hard to pass tier. First, where we have these beautiful souls. Boom! The obviously Amethyst Zion Williamson that we got for this season is an absolute terrible card. I mean, there's really no reason to use him other than now that there's no challenge for him. Zach Collins, one of the terrible season rewind cards. One of the new cards that dropped that got a normal release, absolutely terrible. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, like, yeah, he's okay, but he's got a terrible jumper and he just doesn't have anything at this point because everybody can shoot. Not being able to do it at all, no thank you. I mean, even Dennis Rodman can kind of shoot a little bit, so Kidd-Gilchrist not being able to do it, no thank you. Juan Toscano Anderson and Isaiah Roby were both, again, season rewind cards, so they're just kind of terrible. They just don't nice those cards. Dennis Rodman, I mean, like, come on, it's Dennis Rodman in 2K. He's just like an all-around defensive card, but everybody can kind of do it at this point, so what's the point? Billy Cunningham is basically like a shorter version of Blake Griffin. Why would you want that? Ben Simmons, this Amethyst literally can't do anything besides drive to the basket and play some defense. There's really just no point to it. And Anthony Davis, this card just, I wasn't really impressed with it when it came out, and I'm still not impressed with it now. So, down it goes. And that kind of goes for most Anthony Davis cards, other than his, new, I guess, Opal and, whatever, his Dark Matter. But I think those are both primary position centers, so who cares? Next up, we will start in a still decent tier where we have the wonderful Shawn Kemp. Just a card that I'm not really too interested in. Yeah, he's got some pretty nice stats all around, but his animations when it comes to, just signature styles, all the normal, and it's just really not it. This Shawn Kemp really could have used an update in those, and if he did, I think it'd actually be a super solid card, but without him, he's just kind of like, meh. He's just a guy that slashes the basket pretty slow, to be honest. Next up is Amethyst Glitch Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, who's actually a decent card. I guess. Overall, I think he's actually not too bad. He's a pretty fun guy to just come in and do a little bit of everything, have some fun here and there. I think he's got a pretty decent all-around game, but majority of his stuff is definitely focused on like being able to finish and I guess play some defense, which is cool. He's a nice card, but just doesn't really excite me too much. Just, meh. Next up is Miles Bridges. Just at the power forward position itself is just still way too undersized of a card at this point. I mean, we got guys, Bol that are coming around that can play 7'2", power forward positions, even in the set today. I mean, Kevin Love, he's a 6'10". We could run that Galaxy Opal Anthony Davis, Patrick Ewing. All those guys are viable options to power forward that at this point, a 6'6" Miles Bridges ain't going to cut it. Next up is Maurice Lucas. He does have the best jumper in the game in Jump Shot 3 on Next Gen, but he just doesn't really have enough shooting to really make him usable. If you want to challenge and use a guy who only can slash play defense, I mean, there's your guy, Maurice Lucas right there, and he's actually pretty good once you add some badges to him, like, range, sniper, things like that. But at this point, I don't really see too much reason to do it this late into the game. Next up, we have the wonderful Kevin Garnett, who actually isn't all that wonderful. Set Shot 14, which is a jumper that, again, not too many people really like. And if you're on the side that doesn't like the jumper, obviously this KG is going to be pretty terrible for you. And in general, I do think KG's cards are kind of slow tier compared to everybody else. Next up is just kind of like another version of Miles Bridges in Jason Tate, who is a 6'6", again, power forward. I think as a small forward, they probably both could land there pretty damn solid, but running him as a power forward, no thank you. Next up is Eric Paschall, only 1 inch taller than these two guys, and is overall pretty nice, but I kind of hate his jumper. I used to like it in previous years of 2K, like even last year, it was actually awesome, man. Eric Paschall had that Evo up to big diamond, which is great, but this diamond just, I don't know, I'm not really feeling the jumper, and again, he's an undersized power forward, which I'm really not trying to use at this point in the year. 6'7", 6'6", at the small forwards, okay, it's still not great, but at the power forward, yeah, not a chance. Next up is the free Dark Matter Elven Haze, who was just a card that never really excited me. Again, he's another kind of guy who just didn't really come with any sort of range or anything like that to make him, I guess, viable. But if you're looking for a guy who can finish, play in the post, defense, that sort of stuff, that's exactly what he's good at. That's what he's nice at. He can still hit the occasional 3-ball, but it's just, in my opinion, he's just decent compared to a lot of the other guys that we have out right now. Next up is Chuma Okiki, who is basically like a shorter Draymond Green, I guess, actually equal-sized Draymond Green. Playing the power forward and just an amethyst version as that. They have the same jumper and jump shot 12 on very quick, which is cool. And Chuma can be a pretty nice, fun, kind of like 3-and-D card if you wanted to and like that release. But I think in the grand scheme of things, he's just kind of lower tier compared to the rest. Next up is Bobby Jones, who suffers from the jump shot 4 syndrome of just not being the greatest jumper consistency-wise. And Bobby Jones is a pretty good defender, pretty good finisher, but he just, again, suffers the same thing as Sean Kemp, but we just don't have any good dribble sigs that I'm really excited about, and it kind of hinders what he can do, to be honest. Next up is the wonderful man, Blake Griffin, who, again, is not so wonderful. Blake has his own jumper, obviously, on very quick, and they gave him the curry slide, but he's like 250 pounds, so he can't actually curry slide, and it makes it pretty pointless, if I'm being honest. Blake is still going to be able to slash and like kind of play defense as much as you want him to, but I don't know. He just feels like a clumsy power forward, and he's just not a guy that I'm really all that excited to use, like, ever, to be honest, man. The pink diamond was fun, but ever since it, there's just no point. Alright, and next we have our wonderful, pretty damn solid tier, which is starting off with the man, the myth, the legend, Thaddeus Young, a nice little pink diamond that can basically do everything. Has that D-Wade base on very quick, which on current gen, pretty nice jumper, and on next gen, not the greatest. Base 98 definitely is a bit better on next gen, but overall it's still going to be a fun and nice guard because that D-Wade base nonetheless is still one of the fastest jumpers in the game, and it's still a decent green window and is always going to be fun. And on current gen, I know this Thaddeus Young is an absolute demon. It can be one of the most fun cards just in the game. Next up is Sekou Demboya, who is a basically reskinned version of Aaron Gordon, just I think slightly worse than the Opal, if I'm being honest, but overall just a fun card. I mean, if you like the Aaron Gordon jumper, especially on very quick, this Sekou is going to be amazing. He still has the Kirby slide, and his defense and finishing are all absolutely amazing. Just a nice all-around card that maybe doesn't excel too much anything, but is still pretty nice. Next up is the wonderful Gauntlet Spotlight Sim Bob Pettit, a card who I don't know if I could be any less excited for. Another one of those set shot 14 players where it's either you love it or you just don't want it at all. And, it is what it is, man. He's got a pretty tough challenge to get him too, so it's not even like you're fighting for a good card, but, he's still a solid power forward, just nothing crazy, if I'm being honest. He's nothing compared to what he was in the 2K19 days. Next up is the wonderful man, Poku. Big Diamond Poku is great, man. The fan favorites is awesome. He's a 7-foot power forward, small forward. He does have jump shot 30, which I know some people don't love, but you can't negate how great being a 7-footer at that small forward power forward really is, man. It was such a fun gameplay to record that one. Next up is one of my Q's boys, the homers, man, and O'Shea Brissett, also Canadian, if any of you Canada people are out there. The great thing about O'Shea is he got that Steph Curry base, which is awesome, and as he was in actual life, I guess, at college at least, an amazing dunker, and he's really got some nice defense. They kind of slacked on his playmaking, but he is an amazing shooter with that Curry base, and it's just a super slept-on card in general, and is one of the few power forwards that I don't mind that he's undersized because of how well I can just cook up and get open with that Curry base. Next up is probably the most boring unlimited reward in Larry Johnson. His Dark Matter's cool, Jump Shot 31 is a cool jumper, but just again, I don't mind that he's undersized, but I just don't love it. He just, I don't know. I'm probably not selling it, but he's been pretty damn solid considering what I said about some other cards, but like, yeah, he's good, just nothing crazy to me. Next up is Jared Dudley, who is basically just a power forward version of Doug McDermott, which is still a pretty damn good card. Jump Shot 69 is fun, especially on very quick, and Dudley, I guess, is cool. I mean, it's Jared Dudley. He's kind of known for being a bum on the bench, but he's actually pretty solid at his pink diamond in the game. Next up is the wonderful Draymond Green, who I put into pretty damn solid because he is a good all-around card. But if we're being honest, the only reason you're going to pick up Draymond is because he's so good defensively as a PG, not because he's that great of a power forward. So, yeah, he's good, but I think as a PG, you probably could put him up in like maybe Baby Demon, but just as an actual power forward, nah, he's alright. Next up is one of my favorites to run, but mainly at the small forward, in a Galaxy Opal Jeff Green. Just a great all-around card. Jump Shot 50. I said the card so weird. I apologize. Jump Shot 50 is great. Plus, his slashing is amazing. And Jeff Green just always has defense that is absolutely out of this world. But again, I prefer him as a small forward over a power forward. Just a little weird sometimes. So, there is that. Next up is Dorian Finney-Smith, who got blessed with jump shot 107, which is one of the biggest green window jumpers in the game. One of people's favorites just all around in the game this year, which is awesome. And it makes this card absolutely godly, to be honest. And he's also obviously really good in the paint and defense, as you would expect with the Dorian Finney-Smith card. All around, just a pretty nice guy to run at the power forward, but again, is undersized. So I kind of prefer him as a small forward, but again, that's all depending on what you personally like. Next up is Danny Manning, a card who got absolutely hoed because they gave him, I think, 245 pounds instead of 244, so he kind of got gypped on the ability to curry slide, which is tough because he's a 6'10 power forward, small forward, and would have been absolutely amazing. He's got, I think, the D'Angelo Russell base, which is going to be awesome. He would have been a great card, up in the baby demons, even demon tier with that curry sliding ability, but I think without it, he's just pretty damn solid. And last but not least, for the pretty damn solid tier is Chris Bosh, who has jump shot 29, tied with one of the fastest jumpers in the game, which is pretty nice. And this Bosh all around is just absolutely amazing. Just a great guy to run all around. I just know sometimes that jump shot 29 can be a little bit inconsistent for people, so I put him in pretty damn solid. Alright, so now we have 3 tiers done and 2 more to go, starting off with the Baby Demon tier and having the wonderful Galaxy Opal Rudy Gay, a card that I'm always going to love because the Rudy Gay base is just one of my favorites in the entire game. It's just amazing, man. It's got amazing green window. It's just nice, simple, and easy to time. Just an all-around great jumper, and I mean, Rudy Gay is just absolutely insane. Again, I do prefer him as a small forward, but I think even as a power forward, you can still get some work out of him and have some fun. Next up is the wonderful OG Anunoby, who's got jump shot 76, that Killian Hayes jumper on very quick, and I just love it, man. OG Anunoby, every single time we get a new one, I just absolutely love him. I think he's just one of those guys who's just always great because he's just a 3-and-D demon, and he's got some good size out there, which is awesome. Again, better as a small forward, but good as a power forward. Next up is Kyle Kuzma, who's kind of just always equal to Rudy Gay. Slightly different. I think Rudy is more offensive heavy. Kyle Kuzma is just slightly defensive heavy with jump shot 80 instead. Wherever you rank Rudy Gay, you low-key should be ranking Kyle Kuzma because they're both great options and they're both kind of the same price range as well. Next up is one of my favorite cards to run in this Galaxy Opal, Kyle Anderson. He's got the Brook Lopez base, is 6'9", I think like a 7'2", 7'3" wingspan, which is just amazing to be honest. And the defense on Kyle Anderson is just godly because he's got that skinny, lanky kind of Giannis build, which is always amazing. And let me tell you, he cooks up. If you wanted to use a bull without using bull, you got Kyle Anderson. Next up is Jonathan Isaac, obviously the defensive specialist out there who has one of the best green window jumpers again in jump shot 70, which is always going to be great, especially on current gen. And he's just an all-around great card. I mean, Jonathan Isaac, again, has that skinny, long player build at 6'11" with a massive wingspan. It just helps him play defense everywhere, close out when he really shouldn't. Just a great card to have on any lineup, to be honest, especially at the power forward. Next up is the new Gauntlet Spotlight Sims, John Collins, who is up here because, goddamn, is the Kobe Bryant base amazing. You mix it with the Curry Slide and the insane dunking that they gave to this John Collins, and it is an amazing card. I've been using him on the Hall of Fame difficulty challenges just to help me out a little bit, and he has been honestly kind of a treat. He's been a great all-around card to just have out there and just doing things for you. Just honestly couldn't say enough great things about him, to be honest. Next up is Jay Lucas, who is basically the Bill Russell alternative. This guy has the Raylan base. He can Curry Slide, has basically near identical stats to Russell. Just some of them aren't 96 and above, to be honest. And it's amazing. If you did go ahead and get this Jerry Lucas, it is a great option running as your power forward. Just an all-around amazing card. Next up is the Karl Malone that actually did drop yesterday. The Pantheon Team USA Karl Malone, who is a nice 6'9" power forward who can Curry Slide, but I think like Pro 3 behind the back and is all pretty nice. Karl Malone always has that just real thick player build, which is always nice. But he's kind of a garbage human being, so I'm just going to leave him in the Baby Demon tier and move on. Next up is the wonderful Pink Diamond D Wade, DBG's favorite, probably because he low-key looks like him, but that is what it is. He's got jump shot 5 on very quick, which is just a nice, consistent, smooth jumper. It's the same one as Clyde Drexler, and it's just always nice whenever they give it to a card. Plus, Dean Wade on the other end is just absolutely amazing. He's got good rebound, he's got good defense, and he can get to the basket with the best of them. Just all-around great card. Next up is Davis Bertans, who is just a taller version of Larry Johnson. Same jumper, same timing. I think he can curry as well on next gen at least. And I mean, he's just amazing, man. He's 6'10" at the 4. You love to see it. Next up is my personal favorite budget power forward in the game in Danilo Gallinari. This guy, 6'10", has one of the best jumpers, like, basically in 2K21. And Danilo Gallinari is just so smooth, so consistent, so easy to time, man. And he's, again, 6'10", with that long, lanky player build. Next gen, he can curry slide, and just an all-around great option. Last time I checked, he was like 14K, and that is an absolute steal for a card that does all the things that he does. And last but not least is a card that's been growing on me, I'm not gonna lie. In Dark Matter, Chris Webber. I actually despise the Kemba Walker jumper, but I got this Dark Matter Chris Webber to lock in for Bol Bol, and I've kind of been using them here and there. I should put that offline. And it's not bad. It's not bad. It sucks to admit it, but this Chris Webber, I mean, he gets into the paint pretty easy. He's pretty cheesy. He's pretty nice. I still don't like how awkward the Kemba Walker jumper is when you kind of like load up into it, but I mean, I can't deny the fact that I'm shooting like 60-70% from 3 with this Webber through some online games and things like that, and it's been pretty nice. And his defense, well, been a little lackluster, still ain't too bad. Next up is Thonmaker, jump shot 47 on very quick. I think he can curry and all that sort of stuff on next gen as well. Basically the better version of Poku, which is still a pretty damn good card, which is awesome. Now, I know he's kind of fell out of people's favorites just because he's a bit older of a Dark Matter, but let me tell you, this Thon is still legit at that small forward, power forward option. Next up is the man, the myth, the legend, Pascal Siakam, jump shot 75, and some of the best defense that 2K could offer. Absolutely love it. Just as a power forward, the 3-and-D ability of this Pascal is always going to be great. Next up is Kyle Kuzma. If I had the Galaxy Opal out here in Baby Demon, I had to give the like 20 extra Hall of Fame badge, 200 extra stat, Dark Matter up into the Demons tier, and I do the same with Rudy Gay. It's just, it's how it goes. Next up is Horace Grant, who's just a slightly taller version of this Kyle Anderson and Bol Bol. He's got the Brook Lopez base. He can curry. He has insane defense, rebounding. His finishing is godly. He finishes in the post like with the best of them. Like, there really aren't too many better options at the power forward, and getting this Horace Grant as a free card was such a clutch move last season. Absolutely love this guy. Next up is obviously the invincible Giannis Antetokounmpo. I wasn't sure if I ranked him in my invincible tier list, and I didn't feel like going back, so I just threw him into the tier list and put him on here. Obviously a Giannis, but I think at least gold range, 99 every single stat, it's going to be up in the Demon tier. Next up is Dirk Nowitzki, who still has that jump shot 94, the Colin Sexton, Devin Booker jumper on very quick, and he still is a 7-foot power forward that now has 99 in every single stat and can do literally everything. I mean, come on. Dirk is in the Demon tier. Danny Ferry, the OG card that everybody wanted out of the vault because he's 6'10", can curry on next gen, and his base 98 on very quick. If you saw this Danny Ferry, I still don't know a single person who has taken this Danny Ferry out of their lineup because he's been outdated yet for them, which is absolutely insane and just speaks levels to how great of a card he was when he dropped, which is just unreal. Next up is the GOAT of my team, especially on next gen and my personal team itself, Invincible Bol Bol. If I didn't get this card, I don't know what I'd do, man. He has one of the best jumpers in the game, period. Has some of the most insane defense because of how long and tall he is. His finishing is out of this world. Like, this is the most versatile card we have ever had in 2K. It's like Giannis with a better jumper and just better everything. I just absolutely love this Bol Bol. Next up is Antoine Jameson. Dante Exum base at 6'9" for the power forward is always going to be a great option. I know Dante Exum is just one of those jumpers that literally everybody loves, so it always puts people, or cards at least, up into that Baby Demon to Demon tier. It's just always amazing. And last but not least is Invincible Larry Bird himself. Some people may not like the Bird jumper, but I'm going to be honest, if I'm going to put Antoine Jameson up in here, I have to put Larry Bird in there as well. I love the jumper. I think it's smooth. It's consistent. And to me, it doesn't feel too much different than Dante Exum. A little bit slower, I will say that. But, I mean, come on. He's got 9 in every single stat, and he's just all around great. It's Larry Bird. He's always going to be up there, at least in my personal opinion. So, this is what we have for our Power Forwards tier list. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Any guys that I left out that you really think I should have thrown in there? Are there any cards that, you know, are a little bit too low? Any cards a little bit too high? Let me know them down in the comment section below. Again, like it and all that wonderful stuff. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. On that road to 10K subscribers, trying to hit it by the end of the month. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Check out the sponsor and all the other tier lists down in the comment section below, or description down below. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.